but it is a pleasure to be here. And I wanted to thank each and every one of you who showed up for your practice today. My name is Maud Urbas, and I'm filling in for Sarah today, as Misty probably mentioned. So feel free to get comfortable and we can start the practice together. And before we dive into breathing and meditation, I always like to start with, just some gentle body movements. Some of us have probably been sitting all morning, so we're going to start with some head movements and then bring in the shoulders. So I'll be guiding you step by step. And we can start simply with bringing the head up and down as if we're making a yes motion. And with all of these movements, go as far as feels right to you. Some of us may have more restricted mobility. We're just trying to gently stretch the body, create some opening, and feel free to breathe into the stretch, into the movement, and go at your own pace. Coming back to center and going from left to right as if you were saying no. And you can go slowly and see how far you're able to stretch your neck to each side without any pain. So it's okay to feel a stretch, but we never want to feel that we're straining. And bringing in the breath into the sides of the neck as you do this. And coming back to center. And then bringing the left ear towards the left shoulder. And then the right ear towards the right shoulder. And noticing maybe each side of your neck feels different when you do this movement. Starting to bring more and more awareness to the body and to the breath. And bring the head back to center. And you can now draw circles in front of you with your nose. So that's a way to start to do neck rolls that's very gentle for the cervical spine. So as if you were drawing circles with your nose in front of you. And if that feels good, you can experiment with making the circles progressively bigger. And changing directions. Coming back to center. Doing some shoulder rolls. So rolling the shoulders up, back, and down. Bringing the breath into the shoulders. Noticing if they're right. If there's any tension or other sensations. Breathing through the nose if possible. Lengthening the inhale and the exhale. And you can roll one shoulder back at a time, alternating. And then play with rolling the shoulders forward. So up, forward, and down. And then rolling one shoulder forward at a time, alternating. And then coming back to center, bringing your hands together, clasping them, and making circles like this so that you're warming up the wrists, especially for those of us who do a lot of computer work or writing or cooking. This can be very beneficial. So these kinds of warm-ups help to bring what we call synovial fluid, which is the fluid that lubricates our joints. It helps to activate the production of that fluid so that our joints are well lubricated, which is very important. And these are little, movements that you can bring into your day. You can do them a couple times a day, like during work breaks, for example. And you can even separate the hands and make some circles with the wrists, the hands, rather, in each direction. Notice the sensations that are present in the wrists. Beautiful. Coming back to center. Now we're going to inhale and reach the arms up overhead. Reach, reach, reach. Stretch the hands towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bring the hands down in front of us, hands parallel to the ground. We're going to do this a few times. Inhale the arms up overhead. Big stretch. Exhale, bring the hands down parallel to the ground. And so you can, stop the hands at your lap and then inhale. Bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands down. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale the arms up. Exhale the hands down in front of you. Inhale up. Exhale the arms down. Beautiful. And we can finish with a little self-massage of the neck. So massaging with the kind of pressure that feels good to you. Bring some love and some attention to the tension that we might have, whether it's in the front of the neck or in the back. Experimenting with different kinds of touch to see what feels best. And then even massaging the area in between the neck and the shoulders. You can do this one hand at a time, or you can do both hands at the same time. So this is an area that often holds a lot of tension. And so what happens is that our fascia, our connective tissue, starts to tense and crystallize, and that creates knots in these areas of our body that can be pretty painful. And so massage really helps. Movement and staying well hydrated as well. Beautiful. Bringing the hands back down to your lap and finding whatever posture is going to be most comfortable for you as we go into a little bit of breathing together and then settle into meditation. So this could be sitting. If sitting's not comfortable, it could be lying down or standing up. And when you sit, it could be on a chair or cross-legged, using whatever, pillows or blankets you need for support. So just make sure that you're comfortable and that you're in a posture that supports both alertness and relaxation. And so I'm going to invite you to place one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly. And you can close your eyes if that's comfortable to you, or come into a soft gaze. And we're going to go into what we call 3-part breath, where you're going to inhale in 3 parts. First, inhaling into the belly, then into the rib cage, and then into the upper chest. And on the exhale, you're going to exhale first from the upper chest, then you're going to empty the rib cage, and then you're going to empty the belly. So doing this at your own pace for the next several rounds of breath. Inhaling, filling up the belly and low back, then filling up the rib cage, then filling up the upper chest and upper back. And exhaling, emptying the upper chest, then the rib cage, then the belly. So you're inhaling from the bottom all the way to the top, and exhaling from the top all the way to the bottom. And feel free to continue at your own pace because we all breathe, at different paces. And this may be challenging at first. And if you're finding it way too challenging, you can simply do belly breathing. So filling up the belly on each inhale and exhaling, releasing the belly and emptying yourself of air. That's a simpler version that's also calming and grounding for the nervous system. And otherwise, I would invite you to continue with a 3-part breath. Inviting a little bit more air on each inhale and exhaling fully on each exhale. Inhaling into the belly, the rib cage, and then the upper chest. And exhaling, emptying the upper chest, then the rib cage, and then the belly. There's no need to force the breath. If there are any thoughts that come up, simply bring your attention back to the breath. Filling the lower belly, then the rib cage, then the upper chest, and emptying the upper chest, then the rib cage, then the belly. And this breathing technique is really good for the digestive system. It's really good to bring space in the area of the digestive organs and also in our diaphragm, where many of us hold a lot of tension. So it restores greater mobility to that area. And it also helps to regulate and calm the nervous system. And still with eyes closed, you can return to a normal breath after this last round. And notice if you feel any differences in your body. If any sensations have shifted. See if you need to shift your sitting posture in any way to be even more comfortable. Perhaps you need to make little micro movements or a stretch or two before you settle back down for our meditation. To finding the posture that's going to be comfortable and support relaxation and alertness. And knowing that if at some point during the meditation you get too sleepy, you can always stand up so that you can continue meditating more easily. So I would invite you to close the eyes. And we're going to start with a simple breath awareness meditation. So I would invite you to choose whether you want to bring your attention to your belly for this breath awareness meditation, or if you want to notice the movement of air at your nostrils. So for people who are doing this practice for the first time, the belly might be a good place to focus your attention. And you can even place a hand on your belly and keep it there if that helps. For people who have more experience with the practice, you might find it more interesting to keep your attention at the nostrils and feel the movement of the air coming in and out. So settling into this observation of your breath for the next several minutes. Knowing that this is not about changing the breath in any way. It's not about making it more forceful or even trying to slow it down. You're simply observing your natural breath. Noticing the movement of each inhale and each exhale. With your attention placed either at your belly or at your nostrils. Noticing the sensations that are present in that part of your body when the air comes in and when the air flows out. And I'm going to give you some moments of silence without instruction, and I'll come in with a little bit of guidance here and there over the next couple of minutes. Whenever your mind wanders, notice it and gently, lovingly bring it back to focus on your breath. So we are flexing the muscle of our attention And it's completely normal for thoughts to come in and for you to get distracted a number of times. It's part of us being human. So without shame, without self-judgment, bring your mind back as many times as you need to. That is the practice. Paying attention to all the sensations that are present, whether it's at your belly or at your nostrils, refining your awareness so that you notice not just the very obvious sensations, but also the more subtle ones. And noticing how the sensations evolve from one moment to the next, and how this is a way of realizing the nature of impermanence in your body. And no matter how uncomfortable a sensation may be, it always shifts and evolves into something else. And that this realization applies to everything in our life. And seeing how this practice helps us cultivate equanimity, the ability to welcome both agreeable or pleasant sensations and sensations that parts of us find unpleasant or uncomfortable. This meditation practice expands our capacity to be with both and understand that both are part of our human experience, and that our suffering can come from clinging to the sensations that are pleasurable and seeking to avoid, distract from, or eliminate the ones that are unpleasant. that parts of us experience as uncomfortable or disagreeable. And so seeing over these next several rounds of breath how you can cultivate this quality and this state of equanimity with your body sensations. And still keeping the eyes closed, I'm going to invite you to bring your awareness to an area of your body that is in need of healing or of loving attention. This could be any part of your body. It might be your neck, it might be your knee, your belly, really any part where perhaps there's an injury or a lot of tension, some kind of imbalance. So this is the part of the body that you're going to be focusing on for the next several minutes. And what I'm going to invite you to do is simply to invite healing energy into that part of your body on each inhale and release tension on each exhale. You can imagine soft, warm light filling this area on each inhale. And as you exhale, you can feel the release, the softening in that part of your body. And once again, if any thoughts come up, if you find yourself getting distracted, simply bring your attention back to this part of your body, into imagining soft, warm light filling the area that is in need of healing. And feeling that you're inviting healing energy in with each inhale and allowing that area to relax and soften with each exhale. Realizing how sometimes when we have an injury or illness, we can start to contract that part of our body even more. Sometimes, our body does this as a way to protect itself. Or maybe sometimes part of us feels so uncomfortable with the sensations, with the pain, or with the illness that it wants to shut that part of our body out or make it go away in some way. And so this practice is very, very precious and important to shift our relationship with that part of our body and restore a relationship of love, of care, of tenderness. And seeing if you can really send love to this part of your body. And perhaps it helps to visualize, love from your heart space that is being sent, that is diffusing through your body towards that area that most needs it. And you can even make a prayer if that speaks to you. That I pray for this part of my body to heal. I pray for it to relax. I pray for it to come back into balance. I pray for full healing of it. On each inhale, inviting healing energy in, and on each exhale, releasing any tension. And still with eyes closed, seeing if that part of your body has anything that it would like you to know. Asking it, what do you need from me? How can I be with you over the coming hours and days? Asking the question and seeing what comes up, welcoming whatever that might be, an image, words, a felt sense. Seeing if there's anything else that that part of you wants to express about what would be supportive or nurturing. and seeing if you're willing to make that commitment to yourself to say yes to what came up, whether it's, maybe going for a walk each day or taking a warm bath or anything that might have come up that would be supportive, nurturing, healing, seeing if you're willing to commit to that for the coming week so that you integrate the realizations from your practice into the rest of your waking life. Still with eyes closed, taking these last few moments to connect to your intention for the rest of today. What is it that you want to experience? What is it that you want to embody in your relationships and how you show up? Allowing the answer to emerge in whatever form. And really feeling this intention in your body. Like, ah, yes, this is what I want to experience today. Whether it's peace or trust or a sense of being energized. Really anchor it into your body. What does that feel like? Can you call on that state, on that quality of being, and feel it in your body in this moment? Knowing that this intention serves as an anchor during the rest of your day. That if you find yourself getting distracted, overwhelmed, you can come back to this intention and to this felt sense in your body of, oh, right, this is what I want to experience. This is what I want to cultivate and embody. It can help bring you back and serve as your direction. And this practice of connecting to an intention is something that you can do every morning when you first wake up. And it's very, very powerful because this is actually how we can manifest what it is that we want to experience in our day-to-day life. It starts with connecting to it and embodying that feeling state, that vibration in our inner experience. And then you'll see that you start to choose things in your external environment that match that more and more. You start to show up with those qualities of being, and you'll see that people and situations around you start to respond to that. So that would be my invitation to you to play with that this week and see what happens. And so, very gently, keeping the eyes closed for these few last moments, start to bring some movement back into the body, perhaps wiggling the fingers and the toes, making some gentle head rolls, stretching in any way that would feel good. And slowly coming back. You can open the eyes on an exhale, preferably. That's more relaxing to the nervous system. And gently orient, look around you at the space that you're in. This helps to really fully reintegrate, reconnect with the outside world. Being mindful in your transitions. Often in our world, we tend to be fast and not so mindful in the spaces of transition in our days. So, seeing if you can continue to cultivate that same quality of mindfulness and loving attention in this moment. And thanking you so much for your time, for your presence. You can thank yourself for showing up and sending thanks to everyone in your lives that made it possible. Everyone that supports you, that cares about you. Just feeling gratitude and love for them in this moment.